this Sunday, 3 p.m. live. James Dupree and I will be playing against each other on the PlayStation. James, both of us know who's longest in real life, so let's see what happens on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Wilco, we might be long in real life, but we definitely know who has more feel. Tune in on Sunday to see who wins on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
This Sunday, 3 p.m. live, James Dupree and I will be playing against each other on the PlayStation. James, both of us know who's longest in real life, so let's see what happens on the PlayStation.
Wilco, who might be long in real life, but we definitely know who has more feel. Tune in on Sunday to see who wins on the PlayStation.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Virtual Sunshine Tour. Today we have got for you two of our biggest hitters on tour, bringing you the best in golfing entertainment from our living room to yours. This is the Virtual Sunshine Tour. Now, these are the two longest guys on the Sunshine Tour. James with an average driving distance of 328 meters and Wilco with an average of 348. But who will go the distance today? Now, we know that James gets his distance from his height, which is a whopping 2 meters and 6 centimeters. And for those of you who are struggling to picture exactly how big that is, it's about 2.5 JB Krugers. So he is aiming for the top spot today. Say hello to everybody, James.
What's up, guys?
His competitor is Wilco Nienaber. He is longer in real life, but you know, will he have the stuff today? Also, fortunately for Wilco, the scorecard is digital, so there's no chance he will forget to sign it before leaving us today. Everybody say hello to Wilco.
Hey, guys.
Right, everybody. So the rules are simple. You have up until the first hole to tell us who you think will be our winner here today. We will give you a shout out we'll give you a shout out at the end, and you can get hold of us on our social media platforms, and we'll give you a prize there. But for now, I think it's time to head up to the first tee. Joy. So we thought we'd bring you that great view, considering we've got James Dupree. He's probably got the best view of any Sunshine Tour professional.
Of course, you can do better than that.
You are so tall. I thought it was a lovely segue in. But here we are, guys. James, how would you take on this first hole here?
Well, firstly, props to you for creating the front line here at Royal Joburg. I think you guys have done a good job. But that bunker, they've now pushed back a couple of yards, which would make it harder for the normal golfer to clear. But because Wilco and I are such animals, it is still not in play.
And Wilco, do you have a similar kind of approach playing a hole like this?
Well, I don't really know what the approach of James is after that comment. But, I am still using the beginner's club, so my ball struggled to go 250 yards into the wind.
Oh no, we're off to a flyer here.
Oh dear.
Oh, great shape to that one, James. Let's see what I can do.
Okay, so how are you sitting up here, Wilco?
I'm going to aim it just on the right edge of the bunker. I don't know why the wind is into.
Yeah, I don't know who designed that.
That is not really good, because we used to be playing it downwind. But
splits the fairway.
Courtney's a little longer than I am, but that's okay.
I know, this is my one moment here, guys, to outshine. So having a look at the chat here, I can see we've got a few regulars here. Hello, Felicity. It's lovely to see you. Andrew and a few of our other regulars. So far, it looks like everybody is backing Wilco to take the W here. What do you think of that,
I would also
James?
back Wilco to take the W.
Oh, what a bounce that is.
Get into that bunker. Fantastic.
That was a shocker. Nice bounce. Thanks for the design.
Alright, I'm out here
everybody
in the
should realize
boondoes.
here that for a change, we are not at Glendower. We are at Royal Johannesburg and Kensington Golf Club on the beautiful Beast of the East course, which is a brand new course design we've added to our Sunshine Tour roster here. So let us know in the comments what you think of this fantastic new little track we've got to play on today that these guys are
I'm just
absolutely
off
eating
to
up.
an absolute banger here.
All right. I mean, based on what you've seen here, everybody watching the stream, do you think we're going to get an scores under or over par here? Because I have some ideas.
That James Dupree will hit a fairway during this stream? Oh, Court, that seems to be a little offline.
So, I mean, if anybody hasn't realized, Royal is a little bit tougher, or is playing a little bit tougher than our Glendower. Etienne Sneyman says James will take this. The first shot is part of the tactics.
Oh, Etienne, my man.
And Neil Human says,
And
looks
what about
like
the
real
second
life.
shot?
Okay, let's see what we got here. 141 yards into a bit of a wind here. They've designed these greens with the firmness of Augusta National, so let us see if I can actually hit a decent golf shot.
Wilco, Ruan Pretorius wants to know if you miss him.
I miss him a lot, I do.
Oh wow, guys.
Uh-oh.
Third shot, not at the green.
This stream is going to be 2 hours long. I can't wait.
Oh, I haven't lost
Maybe
my
you
turn.
should start speeding it up, Courtney.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, obviously I call you Wilco because I'm English. And I know your correct Afrikaans name is something along the lines of Wilco. But, I mean, going overseas and being around foreign people, have they ever struggled with your name?
Gosh, guys, I'm having a hard time here selecting my shot.
Having a trouble really says it, because I've got a funny one, or the funniest one I remember was British Am last year in Ireland, and I got on the tee and I introduced myself to the starter, and he was a older.
Oh, this ball's rolling into the bunker.
Oh, no.
Very good.
Oh, luckily not.
He was an older gentleman, and the first thing I said to him, yeah, you can say Wilco Nienaber because that's easiest for him. So he said to me, no, please teach me how to do it because I want to get this right. So it took about all the time I needed to put the scorecards or switch scorecards and all those things. But anyways, eventually it was my turn, and he goes with this one. He says, on the tee from South Africa, Volkan Nienaber. I was laughing so much I couldn't really tee it up.
Volkan Nienaber.
Volkan Nienaber. It sounds like I'm Russian.
I know,
But it was good.
Delicious.
That's a wild
But it was good.
alias.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
Volks.
pretty funny. Who made that thing upslope on the right?
We know
I don't
that
know,
these are all
someone-
correctly measured. Justin Smith says, missing those fairways seem very familiar, something I see far too often. Well, I'm glad
Must
you're
be the
seeing the
courses
fairways,
in-
Justin, because most of us are in the rough here.
The course is in great condition.
Oh, thanks to the greenkeeper. Excellent work by the staff, Chris Bentley and the guys. Thank you.
Ooh,
Oh,
Oh, look
nice
at
try,
that.
James.
that was the par save. So started off on a par 5, hopefully with a bogey.
I just wanted to say, don't.
Yeah, I was about to say
Play
with a
with the
bogey, and then I
bogey.
realized, hey, I still need to putt. Let's see what the Barros has.
Oh, it's a good
Oh,
weight, but the
good try.
Ooh.
But almost trickled back. Good try.
Hopefully one of us can make a birdie on this easy opening hole, or what is normally an easy opening hole.
you guys have you guys played Royal East since the revamp?
Oh,
yes,
what a try.
I have.
What a try. No, I have not. I have not played it since the revamp, no.
Yeah, they did a really good job, I think, especially with a change in bunkering. I think they've added a very, very different element to the course. I think they changed the sand, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. No, I've played
Which I think
it,
has
and
made the
it's
bunkers far more
beautiful.
consistent, which is very good.
Little tap in there for Courtney.
You guys, after everything, I'm only one back. Oof, you guys are in trouble once my thumbs start warming up.
So it looks like it's level par for Courtney and Wilco, and one
The classic
over
Prince.
for James. So take me through your username there.
Yeah, look, besides the fact that it's spelled incorrectly, Hemelbesom can loosely be translated into a heaven sweeper, because some people believe that my height is an anomaly and the oddest thing that they've ever seen in their whole lives. They do come up with very, very strange names for me. I've been told that I can hunt geese with a rake. I've been called a Hemelbesom. I've been asked if I was born on a long weekend.
Oh, that's
So this is just one of those, you know.
That's wild. And I mean, do you have to get your clubs lengthened?
I have to get not just my clubs, but my bed, my pants, pretty much everything needs to. It's wow.
For a shot, eh? Whoa!
What a shot.
Whoa!
What a shot.
Whoa.
Not
Let's
bad.
see if I can just get it on the green.
Yeah,
What a
cool.
shot
My
that
clubs
was.
are lengthened, I think, by 2 inches, and 7 degrees upright. So anyone who would like to give those a try are more than welcome.
I think that's my total height.
What, 7 degrees up?
That's how I have to look when I'm trying to talk to you.
Jeez, guys, what is going on here? When we
Hey,
did the
look
stream
at
test,
that.
none of you could play golf.
Funny. James, so
Okay.
basically when you hit a wedge, it's basically an 8-iron.
I mean, I hit it as far as like JB Kruger's 8-iron, but no, it's still a wedge.
Oh, that's
With an 8-iron shaft.
Something like that, yeah.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
So you guys have both enjoyed your first kind of rookie season on tour. How was that for
Oh.
you guys?
Get a bounce.
Oh,
Get a bounce.
Come on.
Sorry,
yeah,
Courtney,
it was
what
cool.
was that last sentence you said there? I couldn't
I was
hear.
going to say, what is the best part about your rookie season so far?
Best part. For me, I'd say is actually not just realizing, but actually seeing that I can compete with the professionals.
How is that touch for a big
Oh my
man?
goodness, it's getting
Very good.
better and better.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. Rookie season was fun, eh? I only joined up halfway through this, or roughly about halfway through the season, midway through August. But I think it's the same as Volk said. I think once you transition from amateur to pro, even if you've had like a phenomenal amateur career, like Volk who did have, I think there'll always be doubts because so many things change. Although golf stays the same, I think there's a lot that changes in and around with traveling and stuff like that. So just seeing that you are able to compete with the guys is definitely a big confidence boost.
And I know people ask you the question, oh,
How quick is that putt?
yeah, I know, a bit of a mystery there. Flipping hell, you really wish the cut got in the way. So I know people ask the question all the time about, the transition from being an amateur to a professional. But let me ask you this. Would you rather be a... Oh my...
I don't want to celebrate others' misery, but I'm going to.
Would you rather be a professional starting their career now or like 20 years ago before kind of like the age of, like real professional sport?
I thought you meant like now during lockdown.
Oh, no. No, shame for the guys during lockdown. That's got to be heartbreaking. Get your
that's
card and
I
stay
think
at home.
guys... Yeah, shame. Guys who got their cards now who can't really get into the swing of things. It's a bit hectic. But no, I think now for sure. I mean, just based off the technology that's available to us with regards to our clubs, the professionalism that goes into training and the physical aspect, technical aspect, all that type of stuff, I think like the advantage that we have compared to 20, 25 years ago is crazy. And I think that's mainly due to the old big cat TW, Tiger Woods, who changed the way that all of that is done.
Look at us,
Would
hey?
you look at that? I have now
All tied up.
All tied
pulled
up.
it back. And you, Vox, would you rather have, yeah.
I would agree with you, James. Sometimes I find it tough, or not tough. I just find it interesting when the players of 20, 30 years ago say when we were there, that was not even almost going to happen, or when our time was there, or when it was our time, we couldn't reach these holes, and they should make courses longer and all of those things. But obviously the world evolves, and all the technology gets better, and I don't think it makes
no.
sense.
Oh
if they,
no,
Oh,
guys,
no,
I
is
think
that
this is
OB?
OB. Hit a tree.
please
Oh
hit a
my
tree and
goodness.
go, OB. Yes, man.
Oh, he's out.
No, I'm joking.
Straight into Huddle
Um,
Park.
Guys, what
No,
is
so-
going on here?
So I understand when people say that, but to me it feels like you've got to realize that it is not 30 years ago, and everything moves forward. But I
That's
would
a good
really
feeling.
say that golfers back then were really good as well. But these days it just feels like there's more of them.
Yeah, definitely. So we've got Amanda Kesey here saying, missing the beautiful Royal Johannesburg East and West. Hopefully soon. Yes, I think we're all desperate to get back to golf.
Shot,
Luckily, I've got
Wilco.
my driver is going straight. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the opposite of mine.
Did you warm up nicely, James?
Yeah, I think I'll leave a bunch of things unsaid with regards to my warm-up, eh? Okay, let's see if I can not hit this into Huddle Park. This seems to be a
Little bit better.
Yeah.
Oh, get
Bounce left. Bounce left. Sit!
short the
Into the
beautiful
heavy
fluffy
stuff.
bunker, but still in the rough. So
Courtney,
just
so we decided
yeah?
the wind should be in two, because this is tough.
When we create all these courses, we send them out to all the professionals to play so that they can give us feedback on the yardage and the scenery and the sloping pin positions. And you can thank Heinrich Brainers for the Into the Wind. He said that it's
Oh,
the...
shot, Volks.
Oh,
Sit down.
I mean, that's great. Yeah, he said that that's the prevailing wind, and if you don't have the wind, yeah, stunning.
Sit down.
Stunning. The
This off the
first
green.
3 holes play too easy, so you can thank Mr. Brainers for that one.
Okay, thank you.
But you held up
Mr.
nicely there
Brainers.
in the wind. James, on the other hand, is having an absolute mare.
It's okay, James. You'll muscle it out there.
Oh,
Maybe
guys,
not-
I am
maybe-
out here just swinging it to Huddle Park.
Maybe not straight, but it's
Oh.
it's out.
Oh,
Oh.
how's that for a lie? Good grief.
Oh wow.
Felicity
I'm sure you
Shiva
won't
says,
feel the
I
shock
love
of
this
the
hole
tree
if you
root."
keep it on the fairway. Felicity, I think you need to give some hot tips to James Dupree there. James, you want to keep this on the fairway.
Thanks.
Courtney, I
Thanks
love
to
the way
Barras.
you are driving us.
No, don't worry. Like I said to Brandon and Hayden, I'll pull back a little bit if I'm beating you by too much. Oh, she spoke too soon.
Okay.
That's it, hey,
All right.
plugged.
Courts, I don't think you can pull back far enough for me to catch up after this hole.
I know, and that's golf, hey? It just takes one bad hole. You're right in the
This
grass
golf,
there.
boys.
Golf 101.
So just a reminder to everybody who's watching, you can drop us a question in the chat, and we will ask all our professionals here today. So if you've got something you'd like to ask these 2 fantastic gentlemen, you can just drop your messages into the chat.
Ooh.
That's a good
very good.
recovery there.
But it shouldn't get. Just stop. Don't go too close.
There we go. Hopefully I
Nice.
can just limit myself to a double bogey here.
Let me try and take full advantage of this one.
Bunker shot here.
Oh, the barrels here out of the fluffy stuff.
So
Luckily it's into
I
the
mean, I
wind.
think we kind of ask this every time. I mean, the worst score you've ever shot?
On a round of golf.
Yeah.
I started playing junior foundation when I was 8 years old, and there, like where you tee off is based off your handicap. I think I was like a 9 handicap when I think I was like 8 or something, but that was obviously off the ladies' tee at my home course.
Oh
but-
my soul.
Ooh, close.
Ew.
But
Thanks.
with my handicap there, I had to play off the tips, and I think on a 36 whole day I shot like 101 and 98.
Oh my.
Yeah, no, they had it was very difficult for my dad to ever try to get me to play Foundation again.
Good try.
Um,
Very good try.
Dylan wants to know, Wilco, what is the toughest golf course you've ever played?
Oh, Royal Leatherman St. Anne's.
That was a quick
Definitely.
answer.
Or St. Anne's.
Definitely St. Anne's, sorry, English teacher. But, no, yes, that is one of the nicest courses I've played, and it's definitely the toughest. I mean, I played probably because that
Yeah,
was
good
my
path.
my first real links experience. When I went on the Golf RSA UK tour not about, it is 2.5 years ago. I played Lytham Trophy, and hitting pitch shots on the firmness of that turf was much different to our links golf courses, but it was good fun, but it's really tough.
Folks, how does that course compare to Carnoustie? Because I think my first or second British Am played Carnoustie in like a 4 or 5 club window, and I remembered that if I was eligible to play in the British Open and I was at Carnoustie, I might pull a hamstring because that course is from the devil.
James, I really liked it. I got the opportunity to play in the Daniel Links at St Andrews and Kings Barnes in Carnoustie, and obviously we didn't get it in the firmness that it should be, but it was, oh, I enjoyed it a lot. It is tough. It is really tough, but we played it and it was pretty soft, so that was not that tough, but the wind did blow and it did rain, so it was tough. But I think the firmness of Lytham when I played it was what made it really tough.
And folks, I don't know if you agree with me, but I think like it never used to be one of the toughest courses I've played, but since the changes, I honestly think Leopard Creek is one of the toughest courses.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
what Mr. Rupert's done there is both beautiful and sadistic at the same time. It's insane.
Yes,
it's by far the most penalizing course that I've played in South Africa.
Yeah, in South Africa, 100%.
Yeah.
But it was when I played the course about a week, no, not a week, a month before the Daniel last year.
Guys, I think James de Preez just found a fairway. I don't want to alert you to anything.
Everybody clap silently
Very
from your
good.
computer screens at home.
Yep.
And I went there and it was fine. And obviously the course getting ready for the tournament a month before the time. And I had a few rounds and it was really nice. It was still tough because now it's not an easy course at all.
Oh, sit down. This is coming in with some heat. Sorry, Volks, to interrupt you.
But when I got back to the tournament, oh my goodness!
Oh, it's crazy.
You can't. I made it, or my caddy and I made a rule for the week that if I'm not in the fairway on the par fives, I'm not going to go for the green in 2 because just fly, go,
get there,
go. Oh wow!
That seems to have plugged in the lip, Volk. I'm sorry to see what happened to you.
Yeah, so it is tough, James.
Yeah, that course, I think, with the changes, the vent systems that they have under those greens and being able to control the moisture, they become super firm. But with the new grass, like that rough is not long. It's maybe an inch and a half rough, but your ball sits down, and then if you miss a fairway, you can almost not hold the greens.
You can't hold the greens, not almost. It's literally. I found it really tough. Like the 15th hole, I find that one tough because.
Yeah, because you got to cut the corner.
Yeah, but when I cut the corner, it stays in the rough on the left. But when you hit a different club, it goes through the fairway on the right. And
I remember when we played there now in December, I cut that corner thinking like my drive was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and it stays up.
Stayed in the rough. I think I had 140 odd meters to a back flag, and to me that's like considering it's going to fly a little bit. That's like I was like I'll take a gap wedge, and with a fly it'll run out on the greens. and I got such a big flyer out of that rough that it flew the green, the bunker at the back of the green, and hit the TV tower to stop it from going into the water.
Wild. Andrew Baronier wants to know which par fives have you guys hit in one shot?
In one shot?
Yeah, have you had any of those par fives?
I get pretty close to my home course in Bloemfontein Golf Club, the 14th hole in the winter.
Oh, they're around the corner.
Yeah, with a ditch on the left. I got it like 5 meters short once.
That's silly.
Oh,
Get in, ball, go.
Oh, that looks good.
Wow. If it'll... yeah. Oh, wow.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
And
Oh,
then,
massive slider.
Yeah, no, James, this is going to be a bit of a tough read. Felicity wants to know, what is it like getting back after your injury?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yes, it was fantastic. Oh, guys, now I've completely messed up this putt.
Oh, Felicity's done it again. Last time she was chatting about Hayden, and it all went pear.
Is that the Golf Girls Diary?
It is.
Shout out.
Yeah, cool.
That Golf Girls Diary.
Yeah, one of our many South African journalists.
Good face to that one, James.
A little bit of a pickle, yeah, guys. No, Courts, going back after my injury, it was weird, eh? Like, a lot of things had changed for me. I think the way that I thought about golf definitely changed, because I'd gone through injuries before. I'd been out for 6-7 months before, which was, it's tough, but being out for 18 months is a bit of a different story. Oh, that's too hard.
Oh my goodness, James Dupree.
Yeah, guys, we're in a
Please
chair.
focus, my friend.
We're in a chair.
I want to beat you, but come on.
I'm beating myself here, Wilks. Yeah, being out for 18 months was a bit of a different story, especially with regards to, like, getting back to golf was completely secondary, because I'd lost the function of my hand for the majority of those 18 months. My left hand was basically out of commission, so the last operation I had last year, January, the doc basically, when I came out, I made a triple. That's not what you want,
Oh my goodness, James Dupree, that is
Yo.
terrifying. Anything can
Yeah, I still
happen
got
on this
PTSD.
course, though.
I've got PTSD from an injury. I'm talking about it, and I'm just...
Yeah, it's just taking you right
Freaking
I
back
hope
there.
you've got a thumb injury for that score, James.
Yeah, exactly, it's the hand injury all over again.
Yeah. No, but, Courts, after the last operation in Jan last year, the doc basically said there's nothing more we can do. If this operation doesn't work, then I'm sorry. And I was like, okay, cool.
Wow.
Like, it's not exactly what you want to hear. Yeah, so getting back was just like, yo, this is sick. I can play golf, and that was about it. So not thinking about performance and stuff was actually quite nice.
All right.
Come on, Courtney.
Yeah, no. Like the flag on
It looks
this
like your
one.
golf ball's teed up on another golf ball.
On another golf ball. It does look like that, yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe that's my
Oh, this is going to be good.
But it's working,
Oh.
so give me that
Courts, can you
key,
teach me
please.
how to play?
Yeah, I'll just pick up that little nearest to the pin there for you guys. Put it down.
Let's see about that. It's a good
So
shot, though.
Speaking of nearest to the pins and, you know, hole-in-ones and that sort of thing, I mean, James, you had a hole-in-one last season. Tell us what that was all like.
Yeah, that was at Samola at the Vodacom Origins final.
Sit down.
Strangely enough, like that hole that we played the whole week, I played the first 2 rounds with Callum Mode, and he was telling me that if there's a front right pin position on the green, that you can get a hole-in-one super easy. And I was like, okay, sick, didn't think anything of it. And the final day, the pin was front right. And I hit a shot, and I knew, okay, it's a pretty good shot. Unlike
Like
the one I
that?
just hit.
Oh, James, I've got to start
That's
asking
perfect for
Wilco
a-
more questions, because this is a disaster.
That's perfect for a front right flag, that one, James.
Yep. And then when we got up to the green, like, the ball was gone. We never saw it go in. But yeah, it was sick. But strange enough, that wasn't the highlight of my day, because on that day, the Box beat England in the World Cup. So it was pretty cool to celebrate a hole-in-one and the World Cup in the same afternoon.
And that was a particularly crazy day because we were in the World Cup final. We changed the entire, I wouldn't say format, but the structure of the day. All the professionals
Yeah.
went out on carts. I think we had a 2T start, which is,
Chips it
oh
in.
my goodness
Chips it in.
gracious.
Get in, boys.
Oh,
Yes,
it's a
man.
game to play here.
Sip of water.
Yeah, of course, that was actually really, really fun. We went out at like 6 o'clock in 2 balls, everyone having their own cart, and I think a professional event. We played a round of golf. I think it was in like 3.5 hours.
Oh, it's crazy.
Jeez.
It was so much fun.
It was a great day to have someone have a hole-in-one because there were just an abundance of beers in the clubhouse.
Yeah, I had to. Luckily, with hole-in-one insurance, I had to. I bought 80 Castle Lights.
What about the guy that wants water?
Look, Volkser, when you're winning the World Cup, I don't think many O's are drinking water, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, I've gone down from a triple bogey to just a bogey, so there's definitely progress.
That's good.
Volker does have a
That's
6-shot lead, though, which is a bit hectic after 5 holes, but
It's okay.
it is what it is.
It's just a game. Literally, this is just a game.
Okay, so we're on the 6 here. Wilco, how would you usually play this hole?
So, Courtney, I would, depending on the wind, in real life, I would obviously try and get anything left of the water. If the wind's from behind, then it's alright to just absolutely smash it.
I was going to ask that, yeah.
And then just get it in the hole for as little as possible.
No, that's a solid strategy. I like where you're at there.
Folks, that's a one change they've made on this course as well, the bunkering to the left of this fairway. It makes it a little bit more intimidating off the tee box.
And this wind in this game is really not going to make me reach the hole in 2.
Volk, at least you're hitting fairways, my man. I don't know what the short grass smells like at this stage of the game.
Yeah, so James is currently 7 over, followed by me on 2 over, and 1 over there for Wilco, who's currently leading us here on hole number 6.
I think the only comforting thought that I have at this time is that I'm better in real life than a video game, which I don't think many people...
Oh, get a bounce.
Oh, I was going to say, that's almost like my shot, but it's definitely almost not like my shot.
No, yours was... how's that for
What a
members
bounce that is.
eh?
Okay, now it's
What is
100% not like my
That's
shot.
What is that?
That's the members bounce right there.
Okay. Let me see what I can do here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you've got one fan in the stream here. Kurt Overton says, "Go James."
Here's
Come on,
another one.
James.
Fanning it out.
Oh, Kurt, that one was for you. Straight.
James,
Kurt,
you
that
should-
wasn't for you.
You should phone Lou and ask him what you're doing wrong.
Oh, I almost made the fairway of the tee box.
Yeah, that would have looked alright for your stats.
Let's see what we can do here. I'm going for a bit of a heroic shot because I'm so far behind you that you gotta take risks, eh?
Oh, James.
Oh, this might work out well.
Oh,
Very
that's
good.
alright.
Cut, baby.
Nice shot, James.
And we're back in the fairway.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. on
Kurt,
this
that
course.
was for you.
Oh, there we go. So, Walker, I kind of alluded to this earlier. We had a tournament in the beginning of the year known as the Eye of Africa PGA Championship,
I don't remember that tournament.
where everybody was talking about this young rookie who had an amazing start.
Oh! Cut!
Who had an amazing start.
Oh, amazing
or
start,
what?
amazing finish. You know, he was
Okay.
right up there. And then we just hear just drama, commotion. What has happened? Scandal. Then we're sitting there looking at the leaderboard. Has he been DQ'd? And you had in fact been DQ'd.
What, the rookie? Who DQ'd him?
I mean, we don't have to go into the intricacies and, go into people.
Oh, goodness.
But maybe you could just take us through what happened there, because it is one of those crazy golf rules that, sometimes feel a little bit unfair about your Eye of Africa DQ.
So, I finished really well. Obviously, I think I was fourth.
No, you were like second.
And then, don't make it worse, James, I was fourth. And then,
Oh my goodness, I'm so bad at this game.
obviously,
bunker.
we went into the scoring area. Unfortunately, the scoring area was very small, which really doesn't make any
I don't know why
difference.
that. Yeah, I was gonna be.
No one's buying
But
this. Not looking good for you so far.
I'll get to that point. Let me just try and get this one close. Go.
Get there. Oh,
Go.
what a
Shot.
golfer. What a
So-
player.
So I went in and we did the scores with the scorer, and I asked him to confirm my scores, and we read the scores, and it was all confirmed, and we were all done. Thank you, all three of us. The cards were done, and we stood up and we walked out, and it's to the door. It's like 2 steps, and then you're outside.
Shot, Courtney.
That's why I say, unfortunately, it was.
Okay, so you didn't have any wiggle room there, you know.
Yeah, no, but the reason for that is if it was a little bit bigger and they called me back earlier, and I might have still been inside the scoring area, and then it wouldn't have been a DQ because I was literally from where I sat down, I was probably 4 or 5 meters from that.
Yeah,
When
to
they
be
called
fair,
me
it is a
back.
tiny scorer's hat.
So unfortunately, I forgot to sign my scorecard. All my scores were correct, so I didn't try to
we know that you didn't
win
get
myself
DQ'd
a
for-
shot or something like that.
For one of those heinous reasons. It was a silly
and-
reason.
Yeah, it was just one of the things you don't want to learn, but I won't ever do that again.
Yeah, I think that if there's any silver linings, that you did it at that event and not potentially in like a major or something where you
Yeah.
finished 4th.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
now you'll never ever worry about making that mistake again.
But
But
you
I
know
think
how
the rule
tough it was.
is that you actually can't tell somebody. So if you see someone walking out, you can't actually tell them, sorry, you haven't signed this.
Well, to be honest, I think I know the rules pretty well, and I didn't know if you don't sign your scorecard, it's that big offense because it's not like
If the scores are correct, yeah.
yeah, it's not like you did anything wrong. And I've heard of stories that some players on tour don't want to sign a few certain players' scorecards because they feel they're cheating. So that is just a weird one for me, but it's something I'll never do again. And luckily it wasn't the week after that in Limpopo.
But tell me, how much money did you lose?
I think 80,000 rand.
Oh my goodness, that is the most expensive signature of 2020 there, huh?
The
Just
thing
imagine-
is though,
imagine
if it wasn't a major, it would be like $800,000.
Oh no, that's just the worst. And then you were talking about the Limpopo Championship was just after that. How did you guys play there?
I played pretty nice. It was really tough. After my first round on the first day, I made, I think, -7, and I played nicely.
Sure.
Everyone was just saying to me, please sign your scorecard, please sign your
Oh,
scorecard. So I got phone calls after saying, oh, please just tell me you remembered to sign your scorecard. So to be honest, Dornay was the one doing the scores at Limpopo, and we confirmed the scores and checked everything like probably 5 times, and then I decided, well, I've done it, and yeah, so that was good. And the whole tournament, I finished second, so it was a good week for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty solid. Second is, I would say, a pretty good week for most people. But JC Ritchie was a pretty hard gentleman to beat out there. He was so solid. And
Yeah,
for those of
JC
you
played well.
that don't know, you can actually play a round of golf with JC Ritchie. We've got a raffle going on at the moment, a lucky draw, that you can buy a ticket. I think it's $100 or $200. You can see that on our Sunshine Tour Facebook page. You can go into a draw to win a round of golf with JC Ritchie, who not only is a phenomenal talent, but also a very cool guy. So it's a great initiative. It's helping Golf RSA. So I would really encourage everybody there who loves golf to go and grab a ticket. And yeah, you could have an opportunity to play golf with the man himself, back-to-back Limpopo Championship Order of Merit winner, JC
Order of
Ritchie.
Merit. Yeah.
That's very good. Very good.
But you know
What,
what's
your
not
shot or
very
JC
good
Ritchie
is
winning the Order of Merit?
James Dupree's
No, the
score.
whole initiative, Mr. James.
Okay.
The shot was not very good.
So, I mean, James, you're clearly going to miss the cut here. What is it like missing the cut in real life?
Look, as much as I love golf, I think I hate missing a cut more than I like winning a tournament, which might sound bad, but like any golfer who misses the cut can attest to how bad it is. I think Kevin Stone taught me a saying when he was with us on one of those golf RS8 trips. He said, "There's nothing worse than missing the cut and waking up in the same place."
Oh,
Because
Very true.
without your family, you on the road, and now you're still at the place where other people are playing the tournament. So
Seeing them go to the golf course and preparing for the next round, that sucks quite a lot.
yeah, it's pretty horrible. But I think definitely I've learned a lot more out of miscuts than
Winning an
than.
event.
Yeah, look, I think winning I've learned a little bit. No, I'm joking. Yeah, look, obviously through what we classify as a failure that week of missing the cut, you definitely have a very good idea of where your game is and what needs to be done in order to get it to a place where you want it to be in order to compete. So as bad as it is, you always know what to do. So
I mean, I think that's one thing that, you know, the general public just never get to see about you guys is how tough it is week in, week out.
Oi!
You know, you are traveling away from your families. You know, when you do have those big disappointments, you are most of the time completely on your own. And, you know, I think people think this, you know, golf is this incredibly glamorous thing, you know, and you get to travel to all these locations. But that on-tour grind is really something that, you know, I wish people could see more of, because I think the amount of respect that you guys would get would just double.
look, I think that's one of the things when I was a kid and growing up as an amateur, because I think a lot of people are drawn to golf if they're good at it, because the income ceiling of it is almost doesn't have a ceiling. Like if you, like Rory or Tiger, where your sponsors are paying you more than prize money, it's an unbelievably desirable career to have. But the fact that none of your income is guaranteed at all is very, very difficult. And saying that to an amateur doesn't have the same impact as experiencing that as a pro.
Yeah.
Like if you've paid the expenses to get somewhere, and you miss the cut, then that week you basically just spend cash. You haven't made anything. You haven't even covered your expenses. So if you get in a 6-week stretch where you're in a bit of bad form, you rack up a massive amount of expenses, which then obviously just adds to the pressure.
I mean, how expensive do you think it is to be a touring pro? I mean, people see the
Well,
big amounts of money, but they don't realize
Yeah, I
that
can
you've
give
got
people
expenses.
a bit of an insight into that. From January till the first week in March, my expenses for paying my caddy and stuff was about 85 grand. Traveling, eating, accommodation, caddies, all of that type of stuff. And look, a lot of it we can claim some of it back for tax purposes because we are businesses in a sense. But traveling on the European tour, Wilco obviously would know a bit more about this. But I've spoken to guys and they say before you've teed it up, you've spent anywhere between 3,500 and 4,500 euros. So with our current exchange rate, that's about 65 billion rand.
Accurate math.
But you've spent
No, it's huge amounts of money.
60k before you've even teed up.
Huge
Yeah,
amount
that's
of money.
crazy. It's really, like you say, James.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, Volker's missed the fairway. What a change.
This could be your opening with 8
Maybe he
over,
makes a 14.
9 over.
And I'll still win by 2. No,
It's funny because it's true.
it's tough. I mean, it helps if you've got sponsors. It takes a lot of the pressure off of you. Knowing that you can use that money for travel purposes and things like that. But I don't think you should, when you get sponsors from when you start off, when you get sponsors, like money sponsors and stuff like that. I don't think you should get too excited of thinking, well, you've got money now, because
Yeah.
you've got to use that for travel purposes. That's what I do, and then obviously if you make something on the course, which is the ideal situation, um, and sign your card and all of that, then you can spoil yourself a bit, but obviously just keep everything in proportion, if that makes sense. But it's an expensive thing to travel, especially in Europe and the States.
Oh, shot.
Yeah, for sure.
But but if you earn their currency, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think that's the one very, I think, nice thing if you make it on the European tour, the PGA tour, but still have a base in South Africa. Like when you touch down, your money is multiplied by, I mean,
The current exchange rate.
hundreds at the current minute, but like it does allow you to have a more comfortable living in South Africa for sure. But starting out, I think you can equate it to any job. I mean, my sister, she's got a BCom accounting degree, she's got her honors, she's done her articles, and I mean those 7 years of her studying, when she started working, her salary wasn't great at all.
hopefully she
So I
does
think-
your books and all that, because you struggling with the maths at this moment, James.
Look, if I play the way I'm playing on this PlayStation, there's no books that she's gonna have to do.
You're going to have to hit the range.
Yeah, but I think any job, like starting out, you have to do your grunt work where you pay your dues and learn the ropes of the business and things like that. So starting out definitely is tricky.
And I mean, you guys have obviously just started out on tour. Which out of the older guys do you think is like a bit of a mentor, is the coolest, like, older gentleman on tour?
For me, I've been lucky enough to play a couple of times in tournaments with Neil Skiddercut.
Oh, is he what you would consider an older gentleman? I think
Look,
Neil's
Skiddy's
going to
not
be
a younger
absolutely
gentleman.
horrified at that.
Skiddy's not a younger gentleman. But yeah, I've got a very good relationship with him. Awesome guy, and he's been more than willing to answer any questions I have with regards to traveling or
Did you play with
necessary
him at
expenses
Limpopo?
or... Who was Skiddy?
Yes.
No, we were actually, strangely enough, last year when we had like a 6-week stretch, we were paired together the final round 2 weeks in a row. Like our 3-ball was exactly the same, myself, him, and Ruan Conradi, which was quite weird to have that happen 2 weeks in a row. But yeah, I got
Because
to
Rowan's
play with
one
him
of
a
the
bit.
shortest
And
guys on tour. That must have been an interesting
yes,
sight.
no, he is that. Yeah, so I'd say Neil Skiddercut, he's an awesome guy.
And you, Wilco, do you have any kind of mentors on tour or any
Volk
guys
was
that
going to
you look-
say I'm one of the older gentlemen he looks up to because he's so young.
No, I literally just look up to you. No, Courtney, when I started off, obviously when I turned pro, I turned pro without any Q school or anything like that. So I played on invites. In the beginning, I played on invites on the European Tour and Challenge Tour, and
Get there. Come on.
be good, but be good. Oh, and the guys from South Africa, they always made me feel welcome. Like Hayden, Brandon, Zander Lombard, even Darren Fichart.
Yeah, he's a good
All
guy.
of them, they really made me feel very welcome. And whenever I need to or ask a question, they're always there to answer
Oh
the
no, I
question
think I've
for
almost
me.
putted this into the bunker.
Um,
Oh, James.
and yeah, that's really nice. I mean, Zander and I have a good relationship. We try and play practice rounds together and things like that, which helps because he's been around and he's played the courses quite a few times. So that's pretty nice.
Oh, well,
Oh.
okay, so
Yeah, but I think that's one thing that we're very lucky about being South African is if you play overseas or just travel overseas, the guys are unbelievably welcoming. I remember I was lucky enough to play
Oh,
Yeah, good putt
Courtney.
there, Courts. You almost
Nice
look like
putt.
me.
She wants me to win, it looks like.
To play the Fraser Mauritius Open, and guys who got to know them over the years, but not travel with them.
Oh my goodness.
Like Darren Fichart and those types of guys were so welcoming and asking me to join them for dinner and things like that, because they obviously knew I was traveling alone. So the South African fraternities on the world tours are very, very
Wilco,
nice.
you've absolutely smashed
Guys,
it.
do you guys want me to win at this stage?
Well, you asked for a 14.
No, we're trying to make it a close match here, okay? Yeah, even Brandon and Hayden mentioned, what a fantastic fraternity the Sunshine Tour has, and I think that is one of the, very special things about our tour that, keeps guys like, Adelson Silva coming back, and, and even Mateus Calderon, who's also kind of part of our overseas contingent. Oh my gosh. Did someone put some grease around this hole or what?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Courts, you designed this course.
Even when I was still an amateur and I needed help with my pitching, obviously there's no chance of me having any chance of getting a trackman when I was still an amateur. Dean helped me out because he's from Bloem, and just the same when I got onto it, it didn't feel different. It just still felt like they really helped me where I needed help, and obviously one thing I'm really happy is that almost my first year is over, because now I won't feel like the new guy everywhere. I remember standing in where was it, in one of the events. I was at registration, and I'm standing in line, and here comes Thomas Peters, and I'm like, oh well, you go ahead of me.
Shame.
Stuff like that. So
Word,
feels
what now?
more-
You'll like hand him off and say me first, or what?
definitely not. I just won't feel like
Yeah.
like the new guy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think like that for me is also like a big thing that changed in my first season on tour. Like the first couple tournaments you play, you can play. I mean, obviously we wouldn't have turned pro if that wasn't the case. But figuring out that the guys on tour who you've looked up to and seen play on TV and things like that, they're just normal guys. And if you're able to make that distinction that you are now just competing with them, it makes it a lot easier to just play your normal game.
So everybody's enjoying some
So let's see
beautiful
if I
tips
can
here
not
of the
hit like a
Drakensberg.
snap fade here.
I'm sure we're all itching to get outside. So part of the stream is brought to you by SA Tourism, who I'm sure we're all very excited to
Sounds
support when we can finally get outside again.
Close.
So speaking about getting outside again, first golf courses you two are going to play once we can finally get out there.
Well, I'm lucky enough to live at Pretoria Country Club, so probably yeah. I've been seeing how the staff, because they obviously have to keep the course in manicured shape, otherwise the course will essentially die. But the course looks perfect because obviously no one's playing on it. The fairways are manicured magnificently, and so flipping living here and seeing how good the course is, I'm itching to get out.
And Wilco, first spot out?
Well, I've got so many options. I've got. I'll probably obviously go to my home course, Bloemfontein, and then a place where I grew up, Allowall North. They've got a great 9-hole course as well. A lot of the members are really passionate and really keeps the course really good, which I enjoy going back there because it's a fun little track, and it always.
You'll probably drive all of those par fours.
Well, I can if I'd like to, but it always ends up being a high score then. But
that's what I'm going to say. Is I try to drive every par four on the PlayStation game. That's why my score's so high.
Yeah, so it's one of those courses that looks really easy, but it always gets me on my knees, to be honest. So it's nice to go there and just have social rounds there.
Yeah. I think like as much as I miss competing, I do just miss like
socializing,
social golf. Like for us, I think that's a great thing about our job is even though we do it for a living, like when I'm home away from tournaments, it's still something that I want to do. Like with all my mates and my dad and things like that to still play, something that is considered my job is super cool.
Yeah, I think you guys are super lucky that you've kind of got that attitude.
Yeah, of course. Do you not want to event manage when you're away from event managing?
Well, you know, I have to say that I am desperately missing professional golf. I am genuinely, I miss all of you guys. It's terrible.
Aww.
But you know, this part in the stream is usually where like we kind of hype things up and we're like, ooh, the final putt. This is massive.
Okay, all right.
Except that Wilco has a 63-shot lead, so...
So, you know, this one feels a lot less tense here because, you know, James, you're a solid 12 over. But, I mean, what a spectacle. Oh, my goodness. That one was nearly for the fans there.
Still me.
You hate to see it.
One of the things I really like doing when I'm back home is watching inter-schools rugby. If my school's playing, yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't told people you're from Great College yet on the stream.
You know what's funny, James? Every single time I hear of that saying, it's people that say it to me. So you beat me to it again.
Yeah, I think that must be pretty cool then, Bloom. Watching the Grey games is awesome.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Are you guys going to watch the golf this evening?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think so.
We're all going to be excited.
I know Mr. Rupert always talks about Seminoles, so it's going to be really, really nice to watch the Seminole.
Well, it looks like Wilco has just beaten me out by a mere 9 shots. I don't know what more I can say about that, to be honest.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming to watch our virtual Sunshine Tour round 4 here. It was Wilco Nienaber versus James du Preez, although James not
It was
hitting...
more Wilco Nienaber versus Courtney de Barros.
Yes, it was, because James du Preez couldn't hit a fairway. But if you liked the golf course here today, this is a brand new one that we've added to the circuit. You can find it on the Golf Club 2019. Anybody can play it. If you've got the game, it's free to play. You can look for the course as Royal JK East. See if you can do better than James du Preez. We've also got...
And if you can't, then you should throw your PlayStation in your pool.
100%, or donate it to him so he
James
can practice
would have, but it's
more.
not his.
So yes, you can find the course on there. We've got some other really exciting things coming your way in terms of fan engagement and being able to play these courses and compete alongside the scores of the professionals. So make sure that you have a look out on our channels for that this week. But if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe for our more mature audience members watching on YouTube. There is a button on the bottom right hand side. It says subscribe. Next to it is a little bell. You want to click that so you know every time we go live. Otherwise, thanks for joining us, everybody. Last commiserations from Mr. du Preez. And some celebrations there from Mr. Nienaber. So thanks everybody. Thank you for watching the Virtual Sunshine Tour. We'll be back next week. Very exciting. We've got Oliver Baker, Justin Harding, and OG Molefe, the man, the legend. He's going to be playing with them next week.
Old
so we
OG
are
on the commentary.
very, very excited. So until next time, this is the
Thanks,
Virtual
guys.
Sunshine
Thanks for watching,
Tour.
guys. Cheers.